Everyone right now is at the charts thinking, will Bitcoin get above 70,000? Especially those options traders. Boy, $6.5 billion worth of options are going to be expiring today, ladies and gentlemen. And we've also got the monthly candle close coming into play. So it's going to be a very volatile day. Not to mention that we've got some data coming out for the US, which will be very important for us. And by the time you get this video, you will be aligned with what you need to be mindful of when it comes to trading during these environments, especially news data that is going to be released regarding inflation. So what we're going to do is going to break down certain levels in Bitcoin and just understand where we are in the stock market so that you are aligned with what to expect going into today's legacy market close. That means the Nasdaq, the S&P, Euro and Forex, all of those guys, they will be closing today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 p.m. GMT. But cryptocurrency will still be alive and kicking. And that is when I think they're going to pull the dirty move. So let's get with the program, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation. So to get you aligned with what's going on in the marketplace, this article, of course, came out a couple of days ago, but this is very important and it marries up to what's going on with the options market. Now, the New York Stock Exchange plans Bitcoin options, which means we've got now another pool of liquidity that can come into the marketplace. Or should I say, more exposure will be coming from Wall Street. As we go into the article, it does say the New York Stock Exchange plans to list index options tracking the price of Bitcoin. Now, we've got a big options expiry coming today. Now, you can imagine the New York Stock Exchange, the Nasdaq, they make their money as businesses based on people's transactions. So when they transact on the marketplace, these guys get a cut. And of course, with the options markets where there's lots of liquidity there, they're only going to be tapping into another pool of liquidity. And because they're doing that, they're going to be bringing Wall Street along with them. So that's good news for us when it comes to activity of people trading and speculating on cryptocurrency. But what comes with that speculation is high volatility. Now, of course, for all the crypto degens out there, this is wonderful news. But just be very mindful whenever they bring any other options like XRP, that's a joke, or Ethereum, then we're going to see lots of volatility, especially in those two main assets. So in my opinion, the main assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, they will always get the forefront of legacy style assets. For example, if we go over to Ripple right now, you can see here that we've got Ripple CEO predicts the inevitable approval of XRP, Solana, and ADA crypto ETFs. Two of these assets get their asses ripped, but more importantly, Solana. I would be more inclined to believe Solana would be an ETF, but XRP and ADA, man, it's open to debate. I think I'd be more inclined to follow with Gary the Egg. I'd be more on his side if they were talking about an XRP ETF or an ADA ETF. You can imagine, look at what XRP is doing now. And that's as a volatile. I'm going to stop talking about XRP. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. In more important news, this is the story with regards to what's going on with the Bitcoin options. How will the markets react? We don't know. But the idea is that if Bitcoin can get above 70,000 today, that's going to be wonderful news. And usually what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is the following. Check this out. It says here that the put-call ratio in Bitcoin options is around 0.61, which means that there are more calls expiring than puts. That means there are more people who are favoring higher positions. Their options are expiring, more of them today than puts. Now, let me take you back to what we spoke about a couple of days ago with regards to how to, it was yesterday, how to understand how to read price. In front of you right now, we've got the put premium and the call premium. Man, I can't even get my words out today. So you've got this green line, which is the call premium. You've got this red line right here, which is the put premium. Now, what we've got to understand is we haven't yet had an extreme in the puts or the calls. Here is an extreme on the calls, okay? And where they were expecting price to go up, well, it ended up going lower. But what I want to take from this is the following. If we just go over to the chart with Bitcoin right now, I want to show you something. When you've got lots of people that are favoring higher prices, all their calls are positioned like so, okay? But what happens is these positions right here, when they are in the money, it means that their strike price, so basically they need to have their position or price needs to be above that strike price for them to see a return on their option, okay? But if there's lots of people favoring that option, what's below them? They're out of the money options. So in other words, their exposure is below. So what usually happens when you get a put call ratio of 0.61, it means that there's more calls than there are puts. It means that all the market is skewed to the upside. And we know what the market can do. the market can go in the opposite direction first, let the options expire, and then, of course, bring price all the way back up. So that's a problem for us, okay? And that's what I think could end up happening. I think that once the options do expire and we get the new monthly candle coming into play, Bitcoin will start making the move back up. But it's all going to be based on what happens today with regards to the core price index. It's going to be a bit of a problem if this thing comes in again and shows that inflation is still a bit sticky. It's already sticky for the Eurozone because they're already expecting it to go up, and they've just been looking to cut the interest rates, but their game plan might actually have to change. Remember, whatever happens in the US, in the Euro, in the UK, it's all a triple effect. One happens in another, it's going to happen in the other place and the other place as well. Why? Because they're all in bed together. Euro against the dollar, pound against the dollar. There's your three currencies that effectively move the world, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, yesterday we did see some nice flavor in BTC. We actually managed to exploit this activity for the Platinum members on the Traders Reality website. So here were the setups that I shared yesterday, and we actually had a successful hit rate yesterday. We saw Euro go up and clear out that 1.0300 zone, 8300. We saw gold also make the move to the upside. That came through perfectly. We also saw oil make a nice move. And then, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, all three of those trade setups came in wonderfully. They went way beyond what we had expected, but they all played out perfectly. And we've done very well this week in terms of setup. So hopefully most of the Platinum members have made a penny or two. And if you're not part of the Platinum membership, get yourself 20% off your first month by using the code NEWMEMBER in the description of this video. So go check that out and go to tradersreality.com and become a Platinum member, and you'll get these setups, 5 setups every single day, Monday through to Friday. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, going into today, looking at certain levels with BTC. Now, as we are going into the close of a monthly candle, we just got to be very careful with how this candle will close. Now, mainly for the holders, we're doing a relatively okay where Bitcoin's price is at right now. But we've got this unfortunate imbalance down here, which we just need to be very mindful of. Now, if Bitcoin were to come down to 48,000, quite frankly, that would be a beautiful discount, in my opinion. Going into the bids and the offers, you can see bright as day that Bitcoin is starting to roll over, and we're looking like we're going to be attacking those long liquidations or the high leverage short margin liquidation points inside of this range right here. And we're starting to see some bids coming in. So just be very careful with today's market, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, I would be waiting for Bitcoin to finalize in terms of the options market and, of course, the monthly close before you then start to decide whether or not you should start accumulating Bitcoin within these ranges. When we go into the weekly time frame as well, you can see that Bitcoin isn't following through with a clear move to the upside. Notice how the spike yesterday ended up bringing Bitcoin all the way back down again, and that kind of cheesed off a few of those options traders because they are now closer and closer to being out of the money. They are losing money on their options right now. So just take that into consideration. Now, going into the daily time frame itself, you can see that Bitcoin is still trading sideways. We're not really seeing any formal activity, but it's doing very well within this whole green vector candle region. This is what I mean about Bitcoin. If it doesn't do something, then you can only expect it to do the opposite. If it's not going down, then it's more than likely going to prepare to go up. And if it's not going up, it's more than likely preparing itself to go down. So how do we gauge that? We look to the macros of everything because we are in a macro-driven environment. Going over into the macros themselves, if we go and have a look at the 10-year yields, and the 2-year, you can see the 2-year yield is currently trading positive for the day. We go to the 10-year yield, you can see that is also trading positive for the day. So the narrative has been set that they think that the actual inflation data might not be favorable, which then only means that dollar dominance could be looking like a very interesting place to be loading up if investors feel that the data that comes out today is going to be compromising the chances of them actually cutting the interest rates. So when you're looking at Bitcoin in regards to tonight and, of course, going into the close of the monthly candle, I would wait for the first hour of the market to close. So once the legacy markets close, that hour will be the dead gap time where the markets are just leveling out, ranges are being, or should I say spreads are being widened, and they're anticipating the start of a new market. But remember, cryptocurrency trades over the weekend, but it will be a very low liquid, high volatile environment. Please be mindful. You're better off waiting until Monday when the markets all return to understand where we are going to be heading with regards to the monthly candle. You're effectively waiting to see if Bitcoin, in principle, on the start of a new monthly candle, which will be tonight, if it's going to decide to start coming back up into this wick. But we need good news for that to come into play. We've already had good news. Ripple ETF. We've also had this story about the New York Stock Exchange wanting to put together Bitcoin options. But it's just not garnering enough attention. Now, if we go into other metrics like this, Coinbase Premium Index from yesterday, when we saw it was going down and they were all selling, they weren't selling, they were buying. And then what happened? It all decided to mark up again. Happy days. Now, that reading right there has come up, but it doesn't show that US investors are yet buying. When I look at this, I think retail isn't buying just yet, okay? So when this red line crosses over for the green line, then I'd be of the understanding that maybe retail is starting to buy. I'd be looking for short positions in Bitcoin. As we head into the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, just remember the legacy markets close today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 p.m. GMT. But cryptocurrency will still be operating. The options expiry and, of course, the close of the monthly candle. These are two significant events. If you are going to be planning to expose yourself to risk during these times, keep it light if you're trading with leverage. As spot holders, once these two events actually finalize, you'll have a clearer understanding of whether or not it's a good time to start DCAing with Bitcoin. Only buy Bitcoin when it drops. We're trading at significant highs right now with Bitcoin, and it is giving people the question, should I buy now because it's holding? What if it comes down? What if it goes up? If it goes up really fast, that would probably be a false move. If it goes down really fast, it's more than likely to be a false move. Wait for the first move that if you think is a good time to buy, stop. Don't do it. Wait until they move against the narrative of what someone else in retail would be thinking. So if it goes down, everyone's going short, go long. If it goes up, everyone's going long, go short. The faster they move, the more sinister it can become. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll be checking in with you all for that flavor on Monday. Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love. Peace.